We're back, people, and today we're breaking down film on Chop Robinson, Miami Dolphins edge defender. This was his first live NFL action in preseason week 2 versus the Commanders, and I thought he flashed a lot of potential, specifically on this first play that we're looking at here, like the explosiveness that, like, it's undeniable, his explosiveness. And then we didn't get to see, a ton as a true pass rusher. Like, we didn't get a lot of true one-on-one reps. There were some positives to take away. Like, you definitely see the quickness that he plays with, and we'll break those things down later. Definitely a lot of athleticism potential, but then there's also the concerns. I thought he looked a little lost in the running game, and we'll go over those plays as well. We'll get to see him drop into coverage a little bit. I think there's so many things he needs to work on technical wise, and I think these were things you expected him coming out of Penn State. Like, he clearly flashes and clearly, very, very explosive. Like, some of the quickest first step that you're ever gonna see from a guy like of his size as an edge defender. Like, this play is absolutely insane of him shooting upfield, but I do think, like, he's gonna have his limitations. I think he's going to be a sub package defender early. Now, we didn't get to see him, like, as we've talked about, I want to see him like stand up on the interior of his pass rush situations. I do think he'll make a big impact there, so that's one area we didn't get to see him. He did get more comfortable. I think he looked a little sluggish early and then got more comfortable as it went on. He only played one half of football, so it is early. Definitely signs of positivity, but he does need to develop, and we'll get into those specifically. But yeah, this first play, just lightning quick off the ball. Right guard just takes, one false step to combo, and Chop shoots up the field, just splits between the guard and the tackle. You leave him unblocked for a split second, he's going to make you pay for it. Like, he is hitting the running back as he takes the handoff. 4-yard loss. Like, that is insane level of quickness. Like, that is super, super impressive. You're not going to find many players with this skill set. This is a reason you draft him. Now you want to develop, like, his pass rush skills. Like, he has a few different ways he can win, but he needs to add more to that repertoire to keep winning that way. And then he does need to, become a better run defender with instincts and being able to set the edge, as you'll see throughout this video. This is one of, like, his few actual pass rush reps. He does get tripped up here. So he falls, but I think he gets tripped up, and he's getting face masked. He's getting face masked here, and then he trips over that center's leg, so he falls to the ground. But you can see the potential on this play from the pass rush perspective. Basically, when he was winning in this game, he does a good job of setting the person up to the outside. Now, one of his problems, he does just attack down the middle of an offensive tackle sometimes. That's some, like, guys do that when they don't know how to win always. They just attack down the midline of the tackle. Now, Chop will do that a little bit too often, but here he does a good job of setting up to the outside. This is one way he can win, is attack that outside shoulder, and then, boom, try to win on the inside counter, whether you use his little speed to power to open him up, or you just win with pure quickness. Here, he actually gets a true one-on-one. He didn't get many in these games. All the other ones, he was basically getting double-teamed, or he was getting chipped, which was unfortunate, but you can see the potential here. He's maintained the first step. I like that he slowed this down, too. He didn't, like, just hard commit to the outside. Played with a little bit of pace variation, which he doesn't do a whole ton of. That was nice to see. And then just, boom, open him up. He gets face masked right there, and he gets tripped up. Should have caused a penalty, and the ball comes out super quickly, and the quarterback ends up missing it. So to me, this is a positive rep for Robinson. Definitely, like, I think, his best true pass rush one-on-one rep. It just was unfortunate he didn't get the penalty called, or if he didn't get tripped up, he probably would have gotten at least a QB hit here, because the ball is coming out very quickly out into a quick out route. Here's Kamara again on the outside. This is the big Kamara play, but here we got Robinson on the opposite side. We're focusing on him. We'll get to Kamara in his own video. But here, thinks he's going to get engaged to the tight end. Look at him. He does explode off the ball that first step. Like, look at his first step compared to a lot of the other guys. Like, he's exploding up the field. He hits the tight end. He thinks the tight end's going to get engaged with him. Tight end's not even trying to engage with him. Didn't expect it, and that's just how quickly he can get off the ball. Kind of throws off his timing. Almost loses balance, but he's able to get back into a decent spot here. Uses his hands to kind of swipe away, extend, throw that offensive tackle off balance. Now, if Driscoll started to float to the right, he would have went right into Chop, but he went to the left, which goes into Kamara. And you can see some of the bend. When he bends that corner, like, he's able to stay really low to the ground and turn those corners pretty frequently. Like, there's not a whole ton to see from this play, but just, like, trying to look at the little stuff, because we have limited snaps, So, like, the first step explosiveness, how he's getting off the ball, like, still super low. Like, look at his leverage here off the ball, and, like, he hits the tight end unexpectedly, and he's still able to stay on his feet and still able to bend to get his way to the quarterback. But that's an excellent play by Mo. We'll break down in a later video. Here they get chopped unblocked. I think Weaver did a really good job with his blitzes in this game. The way he sets this up, he shows a lot of pressure in the interior. Literally 4 guys, all their focus comes down to that. But then Long drops into coverage. Brooks slants here to across the face of this guard. Campbell squares up him to take focus away from the right tackle, and then that leaves Chop and Elijah Campbell unblocked. So it forces just a quick throwaway. You get Chop unblocked, he's gonna close that ground really, really fast because Daniels was not risking it. He didn't want to hold on that ball for a second longer, so he pretty much just gave up on the play instantly. I mean, that's more just an impressive call by Weaver there, but just a play where Chop gets to be impacted. Here he bites down on zone read. You got to be disciplined. He's the defender that's being read by the quarterback. They're running zone read. He's identifies that it's a run play. He tries to get downhill because they had been pulling either tight ends or O linemen into him, and he has been dropping the shoulder into him. But I think he reads it incorrectly this time because earlier in the game he went a little too far upfield. So this time he went down line of scrimmage hard, but didn't realize that they were gonna pull from the quarterback position. Maybe not either expecting the quarterback to actually run in the preseason, but yeah, that's something he needs to work at. If he is that forced defender and man line of scrimmage, he has to be aware of that they can pull there. Here's the example of when he did get too far upfield. He's dropping the anchor. He's a forced defender. He shoots upfield so fast, and sometimes that can get the better of you. Here, shoots up the field very fast, identifies that it's a run, tries to get back down flat, take on the alignment. I like how he takes it on. He looks for contact. He drops the shoulder into him, tries to set this edge. The only problem is, it's good at the point of contact, but since he shoots so far upfield, the running back is able to work through this lane. If for him to do this, the D lineman would have to create some penetration upfield, so he has to constrict this better. If he constricts down a step earlier, he wouldn't met him right here, close to the D lineman. It would have been much harder for this guy to find a lane. So I think gap discipline is important for him to understand. It was nice to see him take on that guy. And then here's his adjustment to it. He gets down the line of scrimmage faster, does get a little too far into the backfield, and then tries to slip underneath this time. So instead of trying to take him on, he tries to slip underneath. And he doesn't do that bad of a job. This one's not as bad in my opinion, because if the D lineman didn't get pushed down the field or a linebacker filled up into this hole a little bit better, because Long kind of takes himself out of the play, if Long scraped over the top and went in that hole, it actually wouldn't have been that bad if the defense rallied to it. So this one's not as bad in my opinion from Chop. I do think he should constrict down a little bit better. He still needs to work on that discipline. But you can see, look at that shoulder dip. This is where you see some pass rush potential, just the ability to meet an O lineman one-on-one in space, and then boom, dip that shoulder underneath, bend around him, and then he almost trips him up. If anyone else had made a play on the D line or linebacker room, they probably wouldn't have been a good spot because the running back had to slow down and bounce into where they were going. So that one's not on Chop as much. I do think he could play it slightly better, but I can at least see the vision with this one. He's trying to make a play, and he doesn't do that bad of a job. But the ability to slip this block is actually really impressive. There's just no one else there to help him out in that specific situation. Now, they did drop him a few times, which is fine. I think I wanted to see, because this was one of the situations where I actually thought he's going to get to rush the passer, get a one-on-one, because there were so many times where either a tight end or running back were to his side. He didn't get true one-on-ones. Here he would have got one-on-one with a tackle, but they dropped him. He doesn't look that bad dropping into coverage. I don't think that will ever be a huge strength of his, but he is the type of size and athlete and guy that can move, that can make these plays. I don't think he's going to be super instincts guy, but decent enough from a guy who's playing with his hand in the dirt, which when you see a guy playing with his hand in the dirt like this, because Chop is better with his hand in the dirt, they typically don't drop into coverage and struggle to get out, but he was in throwing lanes. Here's another example of it. Sees the QB run, makes a tackle down the field. Nothing too crazy. Just want to, show where he's getting involved. Here's, I think, one of the examples where he maybe is at least trying something. He's trying to attack that outside half of this tackle, and he does get him to open just a step, but you can see how quick he gets up on these guys quickly. Now, if this guard, he does get double teamed, which is unfortunate, but I think if the guard didn't have eyes on him, he would have had a chance to get towards the quarterback. So I just want to see those one-on-one reps. He tries to get his hands up. I just think he needs a little more in his pass rush back, because he keeps trying to go for the same moves, or he sets things up the same way, but attacking the outside half, either win to the inside with just pure quickness, or use his hands to get to the inside on you, use speed to power. I would like to see him maybe try to win with just bending around the edge, use a dip and rip. I know he's got that in his repertoire too, but we didn't really get to see that in this game. Those are just kind of different plays of that type of scenario. Here's another one where he kind of just runs down the midline. This is the last play that we're going to look at. He's able to get kind of a one-on-one. He's not able to bend and dip to the outside because the running back is on that outside half of him, trying to chip him. So Chop does make that adjustment to avoid him by just squaring him up. He's able to create a little bit of a movement. He does open up the right tackle there, as you can see. Like, he gets him off balance, opens up that inside half, but as it happens, the guard gets in between him, which is unfortunate. And you can see the first step. Like, look how quick he is off the ball. He's like about a step ahead of like a half step ahead of everyone else. So that's just like that first step explosiveness. His first step explosiveness is absolutely ridiculous, but he's just got to put all these traits together. Like, he has insane potential. He's the same, very similar to Patrick Paul. That's why, like, when they did make these picks, there were other guys that I kind of preferred. I wasn't mad with the Chop Robinson one. Like, I totally understand that one. Patrick Paul, I thought was like, is definitely not the pick I would have made, but they are both flashing, showing that potential. You can see it that the development has moved further along than they were in college, which is a good sign, but there are still definitely things they need to work on. So I think, with players like Paul, I don't think he'll see much playing time this season at all. He definitely has his growing pains, but looks better than expected. And then Chop, I think we'll see early play as like a sub-package rusher, and potentially, if he develops early in the season, I think he can become a pretty big-time player. I think he has a skill set where he can still make plays, even though he's raw, just due to that really, really good quickness, explosiveness, and he can win in a few different ways, which those are ways you can win at the NFL level. He just needs to add more to his bag to become like an all-time very good player. Like, really, to become a great edge player, you just have to make like 3 impact plays a game, which I think he is capable of. Like, he is capable of catching an offensive lineman off guard about 3 times, whether it's mostly versus the pass, but like even plays like this versus the run, where you just see that opening, you get downhill in a hurry, meet the guy in the backfield. Those are the types of plays that he's capable of. So if you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Let's get happy.